Talking this morning about immigration, the sweeping new bipartisan proposal to reform the nation's immigration system from top to bottom is going to be revealed today. There's a news conference that's scheduled for 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's from a group of 8 senators, the Gang of 8, including 4 Democrats, Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin. Republicans include John McCain and Marco Rubio. The senators' plan includes these things: pathway to citizenship, provided that the borders are secured, reforming the current system to attract the best and brightest from other countries, creating an effective employment verification system, improving the process for admitting workers in the future. All 4 of those things could be a huge stumbling block. Comes one day before the president himself announces his own immigration proposal. Spoke earlier this morning with Congressman Luis Gutierrez. He's a Democrat from Illinois. Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart. He's a Republican from the state of Florida. Here's what they said. Congressman, it's great to have you both with me this morning. Appreciate it. Congressman Gutierrez, I'm going to begin with you if I can. You met with the president on Friday. Did he know that this was coming? And of that list that we've talked about, points that are likely in this proposal, what do you think is the biggest sticking point?
Well, look, he did know. And the important thing of Friday's meeting, quite honestly, is that the president said he's going to make this his top priority, his #1 priority. And just so we have it clear, English is my first language. That's what he said. And I think that that's an exciting development, that he's going to make it his top priority. What could be something that might cause us some problems along the way, but not anything insurmountable? What's the road to citizenship?
You say it's not going to be a problem, but I think historically, right, I mean, that has been a huge sticking point. And I see in the proposal that there are sort of separate categories for kids who are brought by their parents, separate category for people who are working in the food service industry. But that has actually been a very tough challenge in the past. How do you see it working, a proposal that everyone can agree on?
Well, here's what I think. Look, we have my colleague and my friend, Congressman Diaz-Balart. He and I have been talking. We've been working together. I think I've spoken to all of the senators that are involved in the preparation of this proposal. Look, it's a work in progress. You asked me what a sticking point is. I tried to give you my best response. But I think we're going to be able to overcome it, because I think there's a real urgency to this matter. In the end, Soledad, look, they're going to become American citizens one way or another. It's a question of when it's going to be. I'd rather do it at the front end, because from my perspective, I want the undocumented to integrate themselves, to make a commitment, and to have to fulfill all the responsibility that you and I have to fulfill as American citizens. So I think that's what makes our country strong and fair at the same time.
So then let's turn to Congressman Diaz-Balart. It's nice to talk to you, sir. Where do you think Republicans will have a hard time with the proposal that has been sort of sketched out and will be presented later?
Well, look, if this was an easy lift, it would have been done a long time ago. But I think here's the good news. The good news is that, like my friend and colleague just said, a number of us have been working on this for years. We've been trying to get through the details. We've been hammering out our differences. We've been hammering out what has to be fixed. And what has to be fixed, by the way, is rather extensive. Whether it's border security, whether it's internal security, whether it's a process where people can actually legally come to the United States, all of it is broken and all of it has to be fixed. It's been a very difficult process. The good news is there's been so much work done. And I will tell you, one of the things that I'm most proud of is working with my colleagues. We've been able to do it quietly, seriously, not to take credit, but to try to solve this broken problem.
Wow, this tone of conciliatory nature. I'm not sure I can handle it this early in the morning, gentlemen. Let me ask you another question, Congressman Diaz-Balart. Rhetoric, of course, has been a problem. Exhibit A, I would say, for the GOP has been the last election. It was Governor Romney who talked about self-deportation, making conditions so bad that people would just want to leave. It was Michelle Bachmann who talked about, it could be done. She was referring to dragging parents off a bus and their kids crying. Herman Cain talked about the electrified fence. It was John McCain who said this over the weekend about the last election. Listen.
Look at the last election. Look at the last election. We are losing dramatically the Hispanic vote, which we think should be ours for a variety of reasons. And we've got to understand that. Second of all, we can't go on forever with 11 million people living in this country in the shadows in an illegal status. We cannot forever have children who were born here, who were brought here by their parents when they were small children, to live in the shadows as well.
Can this proposal go away to fixing policy issues, but can it fix those tone issues that the GOP has clearly struggled with?
Well, I mean, that's been a big part of the problem. Look, I will tell you, both parties have used this issue for years as a political weapon. It's worked really well for the Democrats. It's obviously been disastrous for Republicans. But Congressman Gutierrez and I and this group of us who have been working for years have been less, frankly, concerned about the politics. We've been concerned about solving the problem. What we've never had is the moment, the right moment where everybody has come together and said, you know, it's time for the real work to begin. We think the time, we thought the time was years ago. We hope that now, we hope that the president tomorrow will have a reconciliatory type of attitude. We've seen that the speaker has said he wants to get it done. We've seen that the minority leader says that they want to get it done. Here's the good news. A group of us have been ready for years. We've worked out most of the complicated details, and, you know, the devil's in the detail. Well, we've dealt with that devil. Now it's an issue of just filing legislation and hopefully get it passed.
Congressman Gutierrez, I'm out of time, but I want to ask you one super fast question, which is, when do you think then we have new immigration law? Give me a date.
I think we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done real quickly. I'm certainly hopeful that we can get it done by the end of the summer.
Congressman Luis Gutierrez, Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart joining me this morning. Nice to see you, gentlemen. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.